Welcome back to another video exploring the A2V, no, the A2Z, the A to Z of AV, A to Z of AV with Command AV. Very rusty. So it's been, how long has it been? At least 6 months, maybe a year.
Feels like a year.
Feels like a year. We've been busy, to say the least. And obviously it's just been Christmas and New Year, so we haven't been in the office for a long time to record any videos, and I know we promised a video every week. Sometimes promises are made to be broken. Is that the saying?
Yeah,
Sure.
we're not going to make any of those stupid promises that we're going to deliver now.
but we will eventually finish the alphabet of AV, and obviously today, as promised, we're on the letter V, which stands for
video distribution.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Much success.
Very nice.
So, in a nutshell, we should have closed that window, but in a nutshell, what is video distribution?
Well, it's quite simply sending a video from one location to another location, or to multiple locations, from one location to that location to this location.
Lots of locations involved, and I presume, I'm taking an educated guess here, by location you mean video sources and TVs?
Yes.
Yeah, so for instance, like connecting a skybox or a DVD player to a TV, that in itself is video distribution, because you're sending video signal from a source device to, well, a display.
But you can also send video from one room to another room, a few rooms away. So,
or from one source device to multiple rooms.
yes.
How does that happen?
Well, it's the kind of setup you usually see in a commercial environment. So when you go to the pub and you have one source over multiple TVs, they don't usually have this multiple sources or like behind each TV. Usually it's distributed from one source out to many. But in our industry, we actually do that in the home too, where you would say you've got a Skybox, an Apple TV. They're all located in a rack. They go through a video matrix, and you want to watch any one of them in any one of your rooms where you have a TV. How do we do this?
Well, like you said, with video matrix. So it's important to explain that not all video matrix systems are created equal. Some have strictly HDMI output, so that only gives you the ability to send the video over a short distance, usually around about 5 meters, maybe 10 meters or 20 meters, using some very expensive HDMI cabling. You know, the type of stuff that you pay about £300 for a single cable for. Then other matrix systems have what's called HD-base-T outputs. Now, HD-base-T is a protocol for sending video over Cat5e or Cat6 Ethernet cable. And then at the top of the line, you've got a video matrix with mirrored HDMI and HD-base-T outputs, giving you the option to send the video locally or over greater distances. And it's worth noting with HD-base-T, of course, you can send that video up to around about 100 meters away. So if you've got an Ethernet cable linking, say, two parts of a house or two different buildings, you can send the video from A to B.
An idea of this is one that we've had recently, where someone built a gym in their garden. So they had a separate structure in the back of their garden, and they wanted TV out there, or they wanted to get video out to there. So quite simply, run an Ethernet cable, and that plugs into the matrix. At the end of it, you have a receiver which decodes that, then you plug HDMI into the TV from that, and off you go.
And magic occurs, and there you go. You've got Sky everywhere, or DVD, or Blu-ray, or Apple TV, whatever is plugged into the source inputs.
So let's talk about the future, because technology advances so quickly. Are there ways to future-proof video distribution systems so that maybe when 8K comes or 16K, whatever, how do we make sure that the infrastructure we've got in place is going to work?
Compatible, yeah. Forward compatibility, we call that. Did I make that up? I don't know. Fiber, that's where fiber comes in. So fiber optic communications, that allows you to send signals rather than over hundreds of meters at a time. You can send over several kilometers at a time. And so from point A to point B.
And not just the distances. This stuff can transmit a massive amount of data over these large distances, a lot more than you can get out of copper cable.
Yeah, so over one fiber, that's about the thickness of a screw, for instance. You can send gigabit Ethernet, 4K video, and even some control data up and down that line. And that's all just using one single, let's call it, tiny little bunch of glass fibers in a plastic tube.
So in comparison, to send all of those different types of signal down copper, you would need multiple Cat6 cables or Cat7 cables or whatever.
Full control cables and coax and all sorts thrown in there. So yeah, fiber one day is going to be the be all end all of what cable you need. You just run fiber to every location and that's it. You can have it all. But HD-based-T and video matrices or video matrix systems are quickly becoming a thing of the past, aren't they? Why is this?
Well, for one, a lot of TVs actually have multiple video sources built in. So you've got your streaming services.
Sky Glass.
Sky Glass is coming out.
Big game changer.
Yeah.
Not that we care, but you know.
It's a big one. It removes video distribution entirely, pretty much. So yeah, that's one way. That's one technology that's taking over from video matrices.
And obviously
another is there's the video over IP scenario.
Yeah.
So rather than have a central location where you've got multiple sources, you can have one box behind each TV or at each source location, and essentially that sends it over a network and through some programming you set up where you're going to send those sources.
Yeah, basically, so with video over IP, it's essentially just another network, and you can plug sources and displays into any part of the network. So you can have, say, the start of the network here with multiple video sources plugged into it, but also a display so you can check that all the video sources work. And then 100 meters away in an adjacent building, you have another switch there with, say, multiple displays, or you're going to another switch to have more displays there. But say they want to add another video source at the display location, that can just be plugged into the switch and also be sent back to the original source location. So it's a very sort of backwards and forwards, fully compatible, all-encompassing giant cock stomp.
I think the beauty of a video over IP system is the expandability. So
yeah,
you can have a system that in its current state, and then with thoughts in mind, you might want to expand the property and add rooms. Where with a video matrix, it's possible to an extent, but you say you've bought a 16-channel video matrix, and you add another room, and you've got 17 outputs a requirement for 17 outputs.
We've only seen this happen twice, but it does happen.
It does happen. So from that point, you have to replace the video matrix, or add a second, which again is expensive. Whereas with video over IP, you say you just want to add another room, you just add another video over IP receiver transmitter.
Or a source transmitter.
And add that to the network. So as long as it's plugged into the same switch. So the switch is the important part. So you'd have a network switch for your network, and a separate switch actually would be for the video over IP system. So it can talk to, all the boxes can talk to one another and send the data to the right location.
Yeah, so generally that is true, that you do require a separate network for your video over IP. Some modern systems with some very expensive network switching gear, you can have your regular network and video over IP running on the same network. However, that we've seen a move away from using these expensive network switches that used to cost thousands of pounds, bring it back down to being able to use your run-of-the-mill sort of, in some cases, sub £200 to £300 switches, which is great, provided you do keep it as a separate network. So yeah, okay, you have to set up 2 networks and run 2 lots of cable, but you're only paying a tenth of the price for the switching gear. So that's a massive bonus. But eventually, we will see the technology at the point where we can just have one network and everything runs on that network. So all of your audio, video, network, and control, Wi-Fi, the lot. But again, fiber will be the backbone of that technology.
Yeah. So if you're going to take any advice from this video, if you're developing your home and you're thinking about what infrastructure to have, fiber, fiber, fiber.
Even if it's not connected or in use currently, if the fiber's in place, it means in 10 years' time, just plug the devices in. The cable's already there.
For the cost of the cable,
Yes,
it's not even worth thinking about.
it's a no-brainer.
Having to rip down those ceilings and cause all sorts of destruction in your home just to get a new cable in, it's not worth thinking about. So get the fibre in, get as much infrastructure cabling as you can, and if in doubt, contact us because we'll give you a hand.
Yeah. Well, I think that about sums it up for video distribution and looking at the letter V in our alphabetic journey. In the next one, we're looking at the letter W, which from memory, I think we're comparing wireless to wired solutions. We've yet to actually summarize the content for that video because, like we've already covered, we haven't been here for ages, haven't concentrated on this for so long. So
the next video is on the letter W, which stands for winging it.
Winging it, yes. All right. We'll catch up with you next time.
Bye.
Bye.